Be the right club. Be the right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most. How about in? That is better than most. Better than most! Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show, presented as always by our friends at High Noon Day 1 Open Championship. Solly here, joined by my guy, Mr. Icarito. Hello, Neil. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's good to be back. Been keeping a low profile, but fun day of golf watching. Coffee golf, morning golf, great stuff. Good to be with you guys.
DJ Pie is here. Hello, Pie Man.
Hello, Solly. Great day at the Open Championship. Can't wait to talk about it. Good to be with you guys. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, most of my takeaways for the day are kind of centered around this astronomer CEO, chief people officer situation going on that seems to be dominating my timeline. So I don't know if that is anywhere in your agenda that you have planned here.
Stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit
it. Just it's consumed me for most of the day. You know what else I'm consuming right now? The all new High Noon Beach 12 pack is here. It is making waves. I went out and got some today. The vodka seltzer 12 pack brings kiwi and raspberry as permanent flavors. I am rocking raspberry here today. It's a raspberry kind of day. I try to do my flavors based on the better the day. I pick my absolute favorite flavors. The raspberry is my second favorite out of this pack, and this was a good endorsement. Solid day. Yeah. Good solid day. This wasn't a kiwi day. All right, maybe tomorrow will be a kiwi day. You don't need sand between your toes to enjoy this one. Grab the High Noon Beach 12 pack and make any day a beach day. HighNoonSpirits.com to find a pack near you. High Noon, suns up.
Guys, it wouldn't be the Open Championship without the air show practice going on, so I'm going to apologize in advance if you hear anyone buzzing my
can't hear it at all.
Tower. But I'll be quick on the mute and the cough button here. But guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, we're going to start a little story of the day. Neil, get ready. I'm going to you first. You're going to get first draft pick in the story of the day. We're going to grade Royal Portrush. We're going to talk about that. What did we see today? Let's hand out a couple of grades. We're going to talk a little JT. JT's been on Neil's mind, I know, so we're going to get to that. We're going to do some winners and losers from today. Just a little bit of classic podcast segment, let's just isolate it to today. Winners and losers. Who do we got? Neil's got a good one that I'm very much looking forward to. We've got some somewhat unknown guys on the leaderboard. How do you get to know people? We're going to do a little two truths and a lie.
That's right. A little icebreaker game.
Yeah.
I worked a little too hard on this one. I hope it goes well.
That was a little bit of the who am I that from the happy hour, man. That took me fucking 6 hours.
That was fantastic though. I listened to the happy hour yesterday. Was great. I listened to it on the elliptical this morning, and I've got some stuff. I got some inspiration from that, Deej. But
I love it. I love hearing
blew
that.
my mind with a couple things.
I'm not out here to inspire the next generation, but if that happens, that's great. Me and Scottie, we're just out here doing our own thing, trying to figure out what it all means. Finally, I'm going to ask you guys. I want to ask you one wish for the rest of the week. So we'll get to that last. We'll check. We'll check on some odds. We'll update some picks, things of that nature. But Neil, I told you I was going to you first. Story of the day today at the Open Championship, the British Open Championship. What do you got?
Pat yourself in the back. Do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would say selfishly Matt Fitzpatrick because I picked him to win, and you guys clown me.
Hold on. Can I bring in Cody real quick? Cody,
that's not exactly true.
I heard chatter, and I had to listen and see. There was some chuckles. Listen, he showed form at the Scottish Open.
100%.
Very good about that pick, and I put some nuggies on it. So Daddy's in a gambling state. We are riding for Fitzy. Okay.
I wasn't laughing because of the pick, because you're right. It all does make sense. Of who wouldn't have seen Fitz is coming out in round one.
I was laughing at the pick, to be fair. I'll own that.
I honestly think it's where it came in the order of like how off guard it caught everybody. But that also was during your one and done. So you're out of a lot of names, buddy. So
that's true. I mean, it's one and done. So
I'm trying to play the game the right way. You didn't keister Fitz.
No, I'm trying to play the game the right way. Rory's Scottie. I picked, a lot of my thoroughbreds are gone, but I did think when I was watching the Scottish Open, like, man, Fitzy looks good and feels like similar to the country club, kind of a tricky, like a hard golf course where he plays well, showing some form. and he just feels like he should be an Open champion, you know. And sometimes it's not the eye test, it's the field test with the Beluga. So getting the Beluga back in the winner's circle would be, I think, the story of the week. Maybe not the story of the day. I think it's Bez's mustache. That's why I have one. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, God, I'm gonna steal it from you, Sol. I think Rory, you know, finishing -1, staying
Are you going
in
full
it.
TC here? What was your
love
story
it.
of the
I
day?
love it. He's alpha. Look at his mustache, man. He's alpha.
Well, I was gonna do Fit. You want me to do Fitz? It's Fitz. He played just
Yeah.
fantastic, but it was early in the day. It was kind of boring. I don't think that's really my story of the day. I think my story of the day, this is final answer, is Rory's got the left miss in play, which is never good. His superpower, he doesn't have it, and he's still 3 shots off the lead. I'd be terrified if I was the rest of the field. I mean, it's like that to me is the story. It's like he's at, you know, it's homecoming for him, all the pressure. You know, he's been chippy the last 3 to 4 months, and that's just kind of what the that's the needle right now, I think. So that's my story of the day, that he didn't you know, pull a astronomer CEO and just kind of disappear from the frame today would be my story of the day.
Is this astronomer thing like this might be an ad? I don't know. I don't trust anything on the internet anymore. This feels like it could be an ad for astronomer.
It would be a bad one if it is.
I also feel bad. I don't think he's an actual astronomer. That could be wrong. I think he just works for the
name
company.
of the company, right? Yeah.
Name of the company. Yeah.
Allegedly. We probably should have slapped an allegedly on that.
Sully, what'd you see from Rory?
I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Neil. Like, normally I feel like I would say Rory didn't have his best stuff, only 3 back. Everyone should be worried. I'm still more worried about the left miss and just kind of scratchy play on that back 9. There were a lot of questions asked of him coming in. I thought the day was going to go very poorly for him after the short miss putt on the opening hole and the really bad drive on 2. He got away with a fair amount, I felt like, and had a really good stretch there in the middle part of the round. But when the conditions got real there on the back 9, he was not very sharp. So if you're talking about a story of the day of somebody who the rest of the field should be terrified of, is like, hey, the favorite of the tournament improved his chances of winning today by shooting 68. And it's Scottie Scheffler, and that looked very, very boring, very, very Scottie-like. One of the best we've seen him play in an Open championship, I think, since he's reached this like godlike level. I mean, he had a really good run at St. George's, I think, in 2021 that was. But this was like the best, most in control, most like boring Scottie round we've seen, opening round we've seen from him in a major. Like, test my memory on this. It feels like when Scottie gets off to a decent start, it very rarely in these majors does he go backwards from there, right? It's usually just like hey, do you have it in round 1? If you don't, you're fighting it uphill the rest of the way. Like, this is a pretty terrifying signal to the rest of the field. I would
say that's true unless he gets arrested.
Sure.
Then he might go backwards.
It's fair.
Otherwise, I think that's the very fair statement, Solly. I don't think he's giving anything back to the field the next 3 days. He doing Aquaman stuff. Very boring, very just, you know, kind of metronomic round from the number 1 in the world.
Worth mentioning, just as effortless as you guys are making it sound, he also hit 3 fairways. He was 150th in the field in driving accuracy. I don't think he was missing in catastrophic spots. You know, he was still able to get to most of the greens and still able to, you know, at a minimum, get it to a spot where he could get up and down easily. Chipped it really good. He putted really good. But it's just kind of one of those weird rounds where it's like I think he's gonna figure out that driver, I feel like, and that's a weapon that shows up pretty much every week. He drives it long and straight, and he had the irons today. And I'm with you, Solly, that like I don't see him going backwards. Man, I don't know how I didn't see that Scottie thing coming. You know, that I totally missed that.
Just literally woke up this morning and was like, dude, I steadfastly picked Tommy Fleetwood to beat Scottie Scheffler in this major championship, like straight up, no handicap. Like, I did that.
You know what I thought about doing for, you know, we're putting agendas together for the happy hour, the preview, and whatever. And I knew everybody's going to go like so hard on Tommy. It's easy to get swept up in. I almost wanted to do like, hey, why don't we think about this like it's a match play bracket? Okay, let's put these guys all head to head. Just because I want to make you say Tommy Fleetwood is going to beat Jon Rahm, and he's going to beat Rory McIlroy, and he's going to beat Scottie Scheffler, and he's going to beat all these other guys, because that's where I'm at too. So it's like it's very easy to get swept up in, but I'm like, dude, he's got to beat all these guys on the same week still, man. It's
God,
really,
TC's so really good hard at what he does. TC's truly so good at what he does.
He's just winning hearts and minds with all the picks. But
can I say, Deej, I'm going through it like shot by shot right now, and I'm counting like 2 bad tee shots from Scottie today. One in a fairway bunker, and one pretty darn far left that, or one pretty darn far right on 11 that he struggled to recover from. Had to pitch out to the middle of the fairway. The rest, he was able to advance the ball cleanly and easily towards the green, towards the pin, or he had gotten it down far enough. So I saw that 3 fairways out of 14, whatever it was. I think it was 4 though, if I'm looking at it, but I was a little worried about it. His strokes gain off the tee was not good today, but it doesn't concern me as much as like what I saw out of Rory. I think as far as hitting it offline and not being able to recover from.
There were a couple quick foul balls out in front of the changeup for Rory. Those were like left and going left. Whereas I feel like some of those Scottie ones were, like you said, they're kind of on the edges where they're not really going to put you in a lot of trouble. But we'll get into this when we get into the Portrush stuff. But one of the things that does make Portrush very interesting, particularly in comparison to a lot of the other links venues that they visit, is there are some spots that are quick boned off the left or off the fairway. You know what I mean? Like I really love how that rough played, and there were a couple like was that Rory on 11? Is 11 the par 5?
12
or 12, when it was just like you can hear the announcers like, oh, that didn't bounce. That's not going to be good. It's a step off the fair, or like a step into the thick stuff, but it's just so random on like where those really thick spots are and where the thinner playable spots are, which I think is great. And that's kind of what you're looking for as in a test like this.
11's where I think that happened. 12 is the par 5 where he drove in the fairway bunker.
It was the left side of 11.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is not nearly as exciting, but I think it's worth shouting out as my story of the day. HE flushing it, certifiably flushing it. He is tied for the lead. We have not said this yet, but we do have a 5-way tie for the lead. Jacob Skov-Olesen, Jakob Skov-Olesen. I don't know. We're
gonna learn more about him in a little bit, Dee.
I like it. Haotong Lee, Matt Fitzpatrick, aforementioned, Christian Bezadenhout, aforementioned, and Harris English tied at 4 under, a shot ahead of Matthew. Don't call me Montel Jordan, Scottie Scheffler, Saddam doing stuff, Tyrrell Hatton all at 3.
My God.
So I will go with Harris English making it look concerningly easy there on those first kind of like 12 holes. What did he make? 7 birdies today? Something like that.
6 in the first 11. I know that.
Yeah, playing without his normal caddy who was having visa issues. That was pretty well documented early in the week. But a guy that, he's there's a lot of players like this, I know, but when they get going, when they get, kind of on song, it just looks so easy. And he's kind of one of those guys that's like, man, how have you not won 20 times? Which is fun to watch. And I love when Harris gets going like this. He's a player that I really, really enjoy watching, and I hope he sticks around. But anything else on the Harris English front from you guys?
Can I derail us really quickly on a quick question? Don't need a full essay answer, just a quick answer. If you had to decide for 12th man right now for September between Keegan and Harris English to be on the team, all factors considered, what would you choose?
Factors considered, inclering what it would be like to talk about on the podcast with you. And that's a big factor.
That's a massive factor. The content.
The
content
I would rather
we could harvest.
Yeah.
What we could,
that's true.
Reap from that Keegan pick
based off that.
You know what I mean? So it's like if you're putting me as the captain, that would be an important qualifier. I mean, Harris is probably going to give you a better chance to win.
Okay, that's interesting. Neil, what do you think?
Keegan for sure, 100%. Easy answer.
That's all. Your answer.
Meat to the fire. All things considered, captaincy, of course, I would pick Harris English based off kind of my well documented position on this at this point. But
I know who's going to order the jersey mics for the team room
for sure, dude.
Keegan can't do it.
You know what? To our trap draft friends, I got jersey mics today. Really, really good.
Good.
Bread was solid. I know we've been tracking that for
we're just worried about the ghouls and when they're gonna
and nothing but
show
good
up
to report. So
okay, good.
Any other kind of anything else?
Well, I'll just say I'd almost like to find community with Sally here on our stories of the day. It's like the top 2 players in the world. If one of them figures it out off the tee, and like you said, Scottie's sometimes the fairways hit stat can be a little deceiving, but I mean, it's just great to have like those 2 guys. It's kind of been Bryson and Rory a little bit, but like Rory and Scottie, I like having a little duel in the top 3 in the world up on the first page of the leaderboard. Or first or second page, just in the hunt. So that makes me feel good about where we're at for the drama on the weekend.
And
Also, have
Rahm
not
right
mentioned
there. Rahm
guy,
right there,
Jon
1 under
Rahm.
par.
Yeah.
Like it felt like that could have been a better round for him. He was also, I have a mea culpa. I said that the PM AM draw was going to be harder. Great in unison drink from the two of you guys, by the way. But I still, to my eye, it looked a lot harder this afternoon than it did this morning, but scores were higher this morning. I don't know if that had to do with the talent on either side of that wave, but I was surprised that the scores did not go, or I guess I was surprised the scores were as high as they were in the morning. I know there was a little bit of rain out there, but it seemed like most of the top scores on the leaderboard did go out in the morning, and it looked like Rahm was going to gas pedal it from the front, from the jump, and it just seems like he just has had this weird reverse gear in majors the last couple of years. When he has gotten there, it just doesn't really seem to be sustained. But he's still well positioned, 1 under par. T20 is a good spot to be after round one, but this was not the gas pedal Jon Rahm round we're waiting for, but he's still right there. So 1, 2, 3, like clearly the top 3 best players in the world are there in the top 20.
Yeah, and he didn't slam it in reverse as he has in some of these other majors. You know, I mean, he still has a really good major record. They flashed the the kind of cumulative major score for the year. I think Rahm was second to Scottie. He was a fairly distant second, but second to Scottie, and yet was also not really a threat to win most of those because he had a clunker on Thursday or Friday at most of those, and then just kind of, a lot of people call him the buoy, and he just kind of remained afloat and just hung out for forever at those majors. But today it was like he didn't shoot himself out of it, which is a
all you got to do in day one.
Say it. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that one before, but cannot win it on this day.
I did hear that. I heard that too.
Would you? So you would put Rahm? Maybe I haven't checked the standings recently, but ahead of Xander as third in the world right now.
Definitely at this point, Xander injury and fall. I mean,
yeah.
A year ago,
that was a legitimate question.
No, it's a good question. I think it's very clear the top. I mean, Scottie's clearly number one. I think
you can make the case Bryson could be 3, but
that was going to be my next point. I think those guys are the kind of the clear top 5, though.
Last 6 months, just pure strokes gained: Scottie, Rory, Bryson, Rahm. Last 12 months, Scottie, Rahm, Rory, Bryson.
And that's what the Data Golf order goes right now. Scottie, Rahm, Rory, Bryson, then Tommy is actually 5th. Xander's actually 8th.
You want to let's just talk Tommy now. I feel like this fits into stories of the day here. Everyone got whipped up in it. Everybody got, there were predictions made, there were graphics made. TC just banished himself to Orlando tonight, so he didn't have to talk about it. Turned off his phone. What did he shoot? 2 over?
2 over.
And it never looked easy. Never looked easy. All the way from the first hole, I feel like, over that green and just having to hit that like really drippy one through the rough. And it looked like a stressful round of golf. I would say kept it on the rails. I don't think he's necessarily out of it by any stretch, but it did not look easy today. Solly, what was your Tommy takeaway?
He just looked sad out there almost. It just looked like I don't know, just a despondent day for him. Just looked like he had no mojo, no nothing. It felt worse than 2 over, honestly, but it just never felt like he was about to go on a run. It just was not what we're looking for out of our guy. It's hard. It's one of those situations where he doesn't consistently contend in majors. It kind of feels like he does, but he also doesn't get the pre-tournament treatment from many people other than TC of let's watch and follow every shot from the jump. He's one of those guys that if he has a bad major week, you kind of don't think about it and you move on. And when you really come in expecting him to have a fantastic week, we were not alone in thinking that. It just all of a sudden is like, oh man, all right, there's still a different tier above this guy clearly, and I feel a little silly having taken him as of right now.
We do have an official statement from TC. I applaud him for answering the press pool with one answer. Quote, "Proud of Tommy, big time effort. Go post a good one in the AM." End quote. And then I think TC peeled out of the parking lot after that to go get down to the Dude Perfect show.
TC should have been in politics, man. I honestly should have been a politician. He's so good at it. He can make any situation seem believable. It's remarkable.
What's your? I mean, is this like a abandon all hope? it's totally over, or are you
No,
still?
I mean, too
you still
over. He could
hanging
get
out. Yeah,
it
that's kind
to.
of where I'm at.
He's
I'm
definitely.
not
I think he
abandoning
makes the
all
cut,
hope.
but
Yeah.
it's an uphill climb for somebody that hasn't done it. Doesn't look good.
A lot of horses.
And I will say I agree with you from an eye test standpoint. In honor of TC, I'm going to employ the eye test here. Other than like every time I looked up, I'm sitting here doing a little work in my office, got it on TV. I either looked up and saw commercials, or it was like bad body language from Tommy, like kind of the club coming down on his shoulder. It felt like a lot of like not quick left misses with irons, but missing left with his irons. I think 1-on-3 was a good example of that, where he hit it over the green, and he just kind of putting himself in like weird spots. Basically, just didn't feel like he had his game today.
Solly, you said something earlier that hit me, which is like we don't usually spend all day watching every shot and kind of living and dying with every shot on Tommy. It's like when he plays well, we check in, and when he doesn't, he's kind of easy to check out on. We said this very vociferously during the Oakmont US Open as well, but I can't recommend the featured groups enough. Just because at least for me, like I can't do the quad box. Feels like I'm on crystal meth when you got like all those shots coming in. I don't retain anything. I feel jittery. I feel anxious. I get vertigo by the end of the day. Like I appreciate what they're doing. I cannot do that. The broadcast ends up feeling like a worse version of that sometimes, where it's like they're trying to show as many shots as they can, but they're all in between commercials, and it's just awful. Featured groups today, Rory, JT, and Tommy. When you can like really settle in, watch every shot, watch them try to build around, watch what it looks like when you make a double in real time versus Rory's waiting there to putt, a birdie putt forever. Like it just, you get such a better feel. And I want to shout that out kind of at every major. I feel like going forward, especially on Thursday, Friday.
It's
a really good way to watch and get a feel for the tournament. But
it's well said. You just don't need a highlight of every player in the field if you want to take in the tournament. If you get a good feature group with multiple of your favorite players in it, definitely watch that, because it's a way better product.
I feel like the featured group is the next best thing to actually being on site. And so if you are going to be on site, you're going on a golf trip, you're doing something like that, maybe what would you recommend?
If you took a walk through the locker room in Portrush to find out like what brand most players trust to transport their clubs over to the UK and back to the 3M Open next week, I'll bet the majority of the players will tell you the same answer. It's Club Glove, the #1 golf travel bag on tour, trusted by players like Brian Harmon, Shane Lowry, Davis Riley, Ryan Gerard, and more. This year, Club Glove, which has always been the best in protection and durability, got even better. They set an all-new standard by re-engineering the iconic traveler bag with 25% more club head padding, a new velour lining, a new built-in TSA lock, and the strongest ballistic Cordura nylon exterior they've ever used, tested to be 3 times more durable than prior generation product. Check out the all-new Club Glove at clubglove.com. And for a limited time, you can use code NLU at checkout and receive a complimentary gift with purchase. That's code NLU at clubglove.com. None of the Czar's adventure book, scavenger hunt related deals in there. Just put in code NLU and you get a complimentary gift.
Well, that's on Club Glove side. We do have Club Glove NLU embroidered ones on our site as well, working with them on both sides of the house, which is lovely.
Everywhere you look.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little Royal Portrush. Solly, I want to start with you. Let's go with let's do some grades. What kind of grade? It's only one day, I know, but don't be scared of the grade inflation. Don't be scared to give your honest thoughts. What did you think of Royal Portrush, at least versus your expectations?
I am going to give Portrush a very unsexy B+. Like, I'm just thinking about, as you were talking through the Tommy Round stuff, it just felt like, all right, Portrush is asking him some specific questions, and he just wasn't quite answering the questions properly. It wasn't like it jumped off the page of like, this is an incredible viewing experience. The holes are all incredibly sick. The carnage is sick, all of that. It was just really good, proper golf test. There was a really good shot value. I'm always looking for that feeling of like, if I see a ball going offline, can I process in my head quickly what that means? And it's like, fuck, if you pull it left of 10, there's no way to get at that pin because that mound is protecting and that rough is really thick over there, and boom, you're done. Like, there's just so much emphasis on every shot that needs to be played, and I really greatly enjoyed that. There was not a lot of shots hit that were just like, bail it out over there and you'll totally get it up and down. It just felt like there was really good consequence to all the shots. That makes for really good tee to green viewing throughout the course of an entire day. Again, is that like the sexiest thing for mass appeal? No, but does it pass the test for being like a premium major championship venue? I think most certainly does.
I think I might even go just a little north of that. Again, maybe this is great inflation. Maybe I just had a delightful time watching today, but I'm going to go A minus. That you could even talk me into an upper A minus.
Yeah.
What are those like, 90, 93, 94 type of grades. But I enjoyed watching every shot. I enjoyed where the pins were today. I enjoyed that it felt like there was consequence on every shot, especially off the tee. Like I was mentioning earlier, there was a lot of it was a little bit playing roulette. If you're going to miss the fairway, you don't know if it's going to be okay or if it's going to be total hack out. It was good variety. The bunkers, shout out to Jamie Kennedy, had a great thread on Twitter, X, the everything app, just talking about how basically the perfect cross section. I feel like this is almost the goal of building a golf course, which is everybody talking about how well bunkered it is and the fact that it has fewer bunkers than any other course on the Rota. It's just like all those bunkers are in the right spot. They force a decision off of pretty much every tee. Par threes were great. There's consequential OB that's always kind of in play. It's just a ton of variety. It feels like the round ebbs and flows. You got a couple like really standout moments, number like 4 and 5, obviously on that front side. Then you get to 10 with that crazy green. You get to 13, the par 3 is really cool. 17's a fun one where there's always kind of these checkpoints where you're looking up and it's almost like watching a movie with like a really rewatchable scene or something, where it's like they're evenly spaced where you're always kind of in it. There's always something coming up that you're going to want to stick around and see. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But Neil, did we miss anything? What were your Royal Portrush thoughts?
I would say you guys have more experience with it than me since you played it. So you kind of have the sense of place a little bit better. I would say I'd give it a B. I'm still kind of getting familiar. I really enjoyed watching, the Belfast video we put together, and that's given me a little bit of a sense of place. Similar to Oakmont, I'm like hearing how hard it is, but I actually feel like for two reasons, I'm always going to struggle to get my bearings when I watch links golf. I think I said this during the US Open. It's just like, but that's okay because it looks exotic on my TV and it's on in the morning and everything about it feels exotic. It's just like a really good, puts me in a good headspace.
It helps to that point. It helps having short grass where balls are rolling into pop bunkers. It helps having the ocean. It helps having a lot of things like Pittsburgh, just not its fault. Pittsburgh doesn't.
And some orienting things like the I think it's between is it 11 green and 17 green, like the site that
13 and 17.
13 and 17. I'm like, oh, okay. You see it's little things like that orient you where you're like, okay, I know where I am on the course now.
Totally.
And so I'm already picking up a few shots that I'm going to look out for. It looks like the tee shot on 9 today was brutal. Crosswind left to right, everybody fading the ball, nobody hit the fairway. And so it's like, if I can start to get a sense on Thursday at a course that I don't have a ton of familiarity with of like, oh, I better keep an eye on number 9, the tee shot there, or like, I feel like the tee shot on 18, I already have a good sense of what you want to do there. There's some good vistas. But just the fact that links golf is going to put it up, it gives it a little bit of a get out of jail free card. But I think the what you're saying about the bunkering or what Jamie Kennedy was saying, now I'm seeing that and I appreciate it because a lot of times there are too many bunkers on some of these links courses and you don't know, you don't know where the mines are basically. Here you kind of do. It's like a number one, like, okay, driver and 3-wood are going to be a problem for these guys, or do they want to lay way back and have a 200+ yard shot in? Like that's a real decision on one with OB both ways. You start to pick up like a little piece of a few holes a day. And so I feel like I'll give it a B+ today.
I think that's well said. You need the little checkpoints to grab onto, to orient yourself and just build context throughout the week.
Well, it's funny too how well like the bunkers played today with that wind. Like thinking of 12, the par 5, the bunkers down the right. It's asking like these guys all play a fade, and it's like, hey, can you draw it up against this left to right wind and avoid running into these bunkers? And a lot of guys couldn't do it. They swallowed up a lot of balls there today.
Well, another shot that sticks out to me that kind of gave me a sense of the course was Rory's approach on 15, I think, where he got kind of, he tried to bite off a little bit too much at the stick. They're saying, hey, he's got to aim out left here. He got a kind of a bad bounce, and it was just on the edge for about 3 seconds, bad bounce, but it's going right at the stick. And then at the last minute, it took a right turn and went about 25 yards down a hill. So there's some good short grass runoffs that give you some excitement. And then, they kind of picked and choose well. It's not all really, really thick rough, and it's not all short grass. And it's like, God, in America, we could do that too, guys. Like, Oakmont could do that. Like, it doesn't all have to be thick stuff for the U.S. Open.
That shot onto 15, like it was 89 yards, I think it was like, that was one of the best links golf shots of the day of like dead downwind. Like they were like, yeah, he's out of the rough. You cannot land this on the surface. So like, do you want to even hit a lob wedge and land it short? Or do you want to hit something with less loft to make sure it climbs that ridge? And if you had to, like, he had to aim that towards a bunker that you also don't want to run into. And I actually, when I watched back the 2019, the opening round that he played, he hit it in that bunker trying to get at a front left pin. Maybe that was actually on the Friday. Sorry. And I was like, I remember Rory like going into that bunker and not having a good time in that bunker. So do you really want to aim it at that bunker and hope it stays short of it or veers right in time? Or do you take off more and go at the pin? Like that's the kind of stuff that keeps stacking on top of each other over 18 holes that I think makes Portrush really interesting. It's on the broadcast, like bring a lot of that to life. They did a good job with that spot, specifically on 15, especially with the balls that had gone over the green prior to that with JT and Fleetwood. But I just need more of that, especially as the weekend goes on, of like really setting up these shots of what makes them unique, or else it's just not going to hit the same way for a lot of people watching.
And I'll say one last thing as somebody kind of watching for the first time. I don't have a ton of memories of 2019. I don't know what I was doing. I might have been doing
a lot of that going around.
But the like their signature hole 16, Calamity Corner, whatever I think it's called, like that, it's no bunkers on that hole, long par 3, like kind of boring on TV. But like if you're willing to put the work in, like that's a really interesting shot to watch. And yeah, like sometimes I thought Rahm actually had some good thoughts on long par 3s, more so than like I'm cool with having long par 3s, but his point was like the more interesting ones for everybody, for us and for fans, are those short ones that are really scary. And I think that's true, right? Yeah. We think of Amen Corner, we think of the postage stamp, whereas like this is like, they're kind of building up this 16th hole as like, something to see. And it's like, well, it's kind of just like hit a really, really good long iron, like away from the pin and make par.
The big thing with that one, to your point, your earlier point about having these like handholds and these kind of like context points, is at least just knowing what the problem is on 16. At least just knowing that it could happen if a ball starts to go short right, even just makes it like nobody's probably going to hit it down there.
Yeah.
But the fact that they could, it just makes that ball in the air just a little more fun.
There were a couple balls down there.
There were a couple
scary, but I don't think these guys are going to fail that test that often.
And
Johnson Wagner too, who went down there and sculled the ball into the bleachers. It's just, there's no way he's not doing it intentionally at this point. But I love every second of it.
If he is doing it intentionally, he's good at faking it.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I'm joking. I don't think he actually is doing it intentionally. I think he does have the yips, but it never ceases to make me laugh.
Last time I'm going to say this, I'm not going to be a broken record, but he was also on the featured group stuff, and he's really good at long form thoughts and exactly what you're talking about, Solly. Like they need to set up why this shot is about to be so difficult is so hard when you're flying around trying to get into commercials and trying to show as many shots as possible. And they're able to do that on the featured group stuff. That's why I liked it so much. Number 9 was a perfect example of that. JT drove it in the rough. He wedged out. I don't know if they showed number 9 on the broadcast at all, what JT did, but he had probably a 50, 60 yard pitch shot and just hit it in the worst possible spot. He tried to got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, tried to go at the pin, missed it a step right of where the pin was, and it goes down. And not only does it go down to a flat spot, it's so steep that it rolls back to the upslope of the next hill. And then he's got a tough one. He can't get it closer than 15 feet. I mean, it's just like to be able to watch all that in slow motion, to have those guys take their time and say like, here's why that was compounded. Here's why that was the problem. Here's why Rory's going to now play over here. Like, it's just, it adds so much. And it's a little bit of an unrealistic expectation, I think, for them to do that on the NBC broadcast, because they're trying to do so much. But speaking of JT, Neil, take it away. What did you see from him today? What were your kind of overarching thoughts on JT and his 1/72 today?
No, I'm not going to start because I do want to do this. I do want to do some psychoanalysis. And because I was thinking about it all day for a couple reasons. So first reason, McGinley, I love McGinley first off. And I hate the way that Brandel treats him on Live From. I just think McGinley's got a lot of good things to say. And I usually vibe with him, but he made some comments this morning early in JT's round. I think it was, I want to say around the second or third hole. I was but it made me kind of stop what I was doing and listen. And it really stuck with me. He said, basically, on paper, JT should be the true links master. I know we say the Spieth is, but it's JT. Like
Totally.
he's got all the shots.
All the shots.
And the three of us have seen it up close several times of like, whether it was in Hawaii or one of these photo shoots, like he's just got so much creativity with his short game. You kind of saw it on display early in the round. I think he had 7 one-putted 7 of the first 8 holes, which we'll get to that being a problem in just a second. But he's got all the shots like throughout the bag. Like he can work it both ways. He can play it up. He can flight it down. And it's just like what, and McGinley was kind of saying like, what's the deal kind of, but he was summing it up in, McGinley way that kind of got me jacked up, and he's putting it better than ever. So it's like, okay. And then I'm on the elliptical and I'm listening to your, who am I thing, Deej, and you just rocked my world with the strokes gained majors versus non-majors. And what was it? Like, he's like second in strokes gained the last 12 months in non-majors and like 170th in majors.
Yeah, I think it was like 75th or something.
Or 75th. Sorry, I don't want to speak, but
Still.
It was a massive.
Yeah.
So over his whole career, he's plus 1.64 in non-majors, plus 1.28 in majors. So
I'm like, all right. So then now personal stuff. I had a meeting with my sports psychologist this morning, my guy, John Schramm, we're talking shop, and we're talking about this concept of letting it happen versus making it happen. And like don't let the rational brain get in the way. And like, you got to like shut that off pre-shot. We talked about that with Pete and Lynn Deej. And I'm starting to watch JT, and he strikes me as a guy, especially in these majors, that's really trying to make it happen. And like at his best, I watch him and I admire his game. It's almost arrogant because he can hit all the shots. Sometimes I feel like he's trying always like, watch me hit this hard shot, instead of just letting it come to him, especially in a links setting where at his best, his swing is really elegant, but it also looks very technical and it looks hard, to execute. It feels like JT has to have full commitment on his golf swing. This is me just kind of pontificating a little bit. It looks like he's got to really commit 100% on a lot of his tee shots specifically to me. And I feel like he could probably get away in certain settings with like playing to the wind more or not. It's almost like he's trying to hit the hard shot too often. And so I don't know. It's like he's trying to make it happen. That it was kind of bringing to life my conversation with this guy this morning. And so my question is to you, like, what are you seeing that when you watch him play? Like, does that feel fair? Because it does feel mental when you look at those strokes gained majors versus non-majors. And it feels like when you ramp up, he does play well on difficult golf courses. But I would think, Solly, you brought it up on the happy hour. He gets the bad side of the draw. Fair enough. But I would almost think like JT's good enough to play through that. Like sometimes I feel like
when he won the PGA, he was on the horrible side. That's what I mean.
It's like that should almost suit him a little bit of like, hey, bad weather. Like he's a mutter. And so I'm just to me, it's like, God, this must just be kind of mental where he's gripping the bat too tight and he's trying to make it happen in these majors. I
mean, say no more. I forget which episode, but I asked him about this directly on the podcast about like seeing too many shots and not just having a standard go-to shot and a consistent shot and trying like too hard. And this is the DJ Pie conundrum. You keep getting the bad side of the draw too, or else
exactly 25 years bad side of the draw
falling solo. I think it's absolutely a thing, Neil. I think it. And I think it has been a thing for years to the point where like he also knows this and recognizes it and is showing up at a major thing.
Reaction
like, okay,
to reaction
let's
to
not
reaction.
overthink it. Like, why can't I play very well in these majors? I 100% see it, but
it's kind of one of those things that it's what makes golf the best and what makes golf the absolute worst. It doesn't make any sense that both him and Bryson really struggle with the Open. It's like those two players could not be more different, and they struggle for wildly different reasons. But it's like, yeah, no, golf's going to swallow them both up. You know what it reminds me of as you were talking about it? There's a guy that famously had one top 10 at the Open in his first 17 starts. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. right? And like, imagine showing up every time, just be like, man, you should be the guy. You should be like, you should win 10 of these things. You
should be the links
shots.
master.
What are you doing? Why don't you just win one? You know,
In fairness, I don't think people were saying that about Phil when he was hitting flop shots everywhere.
Wasn't it Phil hit the ball too high? I thought that was the problem.
He did. Like, he did. Like, that was the problem.
He did. But he also, like, he did. I don't know. I think he's a decent comp as far as somebody who has, like, also had all of those shots.
And you saw it.
All the creativity and probably got a little paralyzed by it.
Solly, a couple times today with JT's round, watching some of the feature groups, you know, he had, I think it was middle of the round, he had 2 wedges out, you know, and it's like, yeah, he's got 2 clubs out of the bag, like on every approach shot. And it's like, yeah, it's almost like, do I want to bring this one low or high? It's like just trying to be too much of an artist, maybe. I don't know, but then some of the stuff around the greens, some of his chips early in the round, I was like, God, dude, that's it, man. Like, he's low scooters, high ones. Like, he's got them all. It's crazy.
He seemed like he was chipping all day. I feel like every time I looked up at my TV, it was like, here's JT with he's a chance to show off that short game.
And well, that's what I'm saying about specifically the tee ball. It's like, God, stop trying to hit the TrackMan Michelangelo ball. Like, it doesn't have to be a work of art on the tee. Just, I'd love to see him hit a sloppy cut for a while, you know, if the wind's coming off the right.
It's also like when he's on, like, he has a I don't know, a gear or a speed that he cruises at that I'm like, oh, dude, don't change a thing. Like, just go do that.
Know.
So
I know.
It's hard to tap into.
But it feels like that ability to be on plays really well in like controlled environments, like the PGA Tour stops a little bit.
I'm glad you flagged it. It's a fascinating thing to follow.
It just kind of, McGinley got me thinking, and then it was almost like serendipitous of your segment last night talking about JT. It was like, well, God, the strokes gain stuff just, I never really, I always knew he like struggled in majors, but I was like, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. And I think he held it together today, right? Like, today could have been a lot worse than 1 over, and he kind of grinded it out. So I don't know. One of these days it's gonna click. Just the way that it's going to click for Scottie probably this week.
It's hard. It's just hard to like to like say that these majors are a different category of like a proper test. Like, this is, you know, and he continues to fail the proper tests is just like what gets kind of frustrating and kind of at a certain point, damning. But he's also won 2 of them, so it's also like, yeah, how long does that pass last? And you've won a Players. Like, it's a weird profile, but it is like, yeah, we got to call it like I see it for this week. It is Open Championship week. It's one of the game's greatest tests. And if watching this week's coverage gets you in the mood to challenge yourself at a championship golf venue, remember, you don't have to cross the Atlantic to experience it. Just last month, Cody had boots on the ground for the KPMG Women's PGA at Omni PGA Frisco, home to future majors and one of the most complete golf destinations in the U.S. It's one of Omni's 12 premier golf resorts, including places like Omni La Costa, which is the host of the NCAA championships, and Omni Tucson National, a former stop on the PGA Tour. Altogether, Omni Resorts, Hotels and Resorts gives you access to 28 championship caliber courses. So no matter where you travel, there's always a tee time worth chasing. The Omni Generation Cup heating up, those same resorts are hosting events all year long for you and your family to tee it up, make a few putts, and create lasting memories, competing for a spot in the national championship. How fun is that? Start playing now at omnihotels.com/golf and prepare to play the possibilities.
Guys, let's do some winners and losers. Okay, this is very ill-defined. You could take this in whatever direction you like. Neil, just go, man. What do you got? Winner, loser, both? Where you want to go?
Do you want to go one by one, or do you want to everybody dump all their
go around the horn?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll start. Deej, you said it earlier, but I want to join you on this block. Admitting defeat with the quad box. would use similar synonyms of.
So you're a winner or a loser in this?
No,
case?
I'm a winner because I admitted I'm not doing quad box.
Loser.
Yeah, quad box. It's just not for me. No, it's not a loser. It's just I've explored it. It's just not. It's not something I need to do. It's bad for my mental state. It's bad for my analysis of the tournament, and I choose not to do it. But I'm glad it exists, and I'm happy for the people that like it. So that's a win for me.
I love it. This segment already off to a roaring start. So where do you got?
I had a win was the quad box on YouTube TV. I think it's great. But,
and that's fine. That's fine.
I kind of am drinking from a fire hose on Major Championship Thursday anyways. But, I'll also just add GMAC in the booth this morning was such a delightful thing to wake up to. I mean, he was just great commentary, not trying to be an announcer, just like added a little nugget about some kind of consideration around every single shot. Had a great demeanor in the booth. It was a splendid surprise in the morning. Just kind of getting anybody outside the NBC orbit that just seems to kind of want to fill every possible dead air spot with just words, and having some really additive words in the morning. Somebody that's from the area, obviously from Northern Ireland, just was a very, very big dub to start the day.
Totally agree. Winner. We haven't really talked about this yet. The old guys. The old guys balled out today. We got my guy, Team Rose, T10, along with Lee Westwood, seemingly out of nowhere, goes out and qualifies for the tournament, comes up. He got it to 4 under, I think, at one point this morning. Gave a couple back, but a hell of a round of golf. Team Rose, Cody, I think we got his scatter plot, or his strokes gain plot for the day was just like, I mean, that's good stuff for my guy, Justin Rose. And then you go down to 1 under, and you got like the seriously old guys. Mickelson finding some magic out at Royal Portrush. He's 55 years old and shot under par today. I feel like, we always look at like the Tom Watson year, and I think I have a tendency to think of him as, like he was like 78 years old when he did that. He was 59. He's 4 years older than Phil. Phil's like, Phil shooting 1 under today was awesome. And Justin Leonard shooting 1 under. He was 143rd. Justin Leonard was 143rd off the tee today and shot under par. Like that's baller stuff, man. It's just getting your pill around. That's awesome.
We could do a whole segment on guys that Justin Leonard beat at golf today on a proper ass golf course.
Most of them. So
Xander. I mean,
my guys. I'm sick of this Stu Sink erasure. Like he had it cooking. Stu was at +1 and he finished, I think, double and bogey. So he's +4. I hate that for Stu. He's got some unfinished business tomorrow.
Speaking of erasure,
if you guys think that like this is unfair that Stu Sink gets more run for or gets less run for 09 than Tom Watson, I just don't think that's you're gonna go in the loser
champion golfer of the year.
Totally.
Okay?
Yeah, no,
show some respect for him.
I'm sure that history is gonna flip around on that one, guys.
You want to hear about erasure? I went up to Augusta early to do like an interview for the Untouchable, or the what's it called, Underdogs film that they did.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
I got cut from it. I didn't even make it in.
Hell yeah.
So you want to talk about erasure? I did all these interviews, me, Brandel, Nobilo, Rich Lerner, and I just didn't make it in at all. And they were like, yeah, you're doing great. Like, these are really great. And I didn't make the final film. I was heartbroken.
It's the full
because I was wondering who produced that, because they did set up all those interviews, and I was like, oh, this feels pretty professional. That open was awesome.
Let's we're gonna bounce back and forth. Neil, let's do a loser round. What do you got?
All right. Switching to losers.
We can come
this
back.
This one obviously near and dear to my heart, covering sponsor related things, but Rory lending his name, image, and likeness to Versant and FM commercial insurance. I don't understand it, guys.
The first one on my list.
I truly too, like, I don't know if Comcast brought in the homies from HBO Max debacle for this Versant operation spinoff, whatever.
I believe it's Versant.
I don't even know. Who cares? But like, we got that on the bag.
I know because they took the time to zoom in on it and give it a shout out.
I know, which is scummy,
awful.
And then God, I'm getting waterboarded with FM commercial insurance commercial. It looks like somebody filmed that on their iPhone. I'm like, God, Rory, have some freaking respect for your brand, dude. Like,
a little bit of the Tiger Woods golfballs.com.
That's what I was gonna. I had that in my notes. It's almost as bad as Tiger on the golfballs.com personal, customization commercial. It's not good.
Solly, what do you got on your losers?
I mean, just early coverage was tough, as it always is. I mean, huge commercial loads. They completely abandoned the best holes on the course. Like it's hard. Like my little favorite stretch of holes on this course is probably 3, 4, 5, and they were just like picking guys up on 6 all morning long. And not until we get to the Rory. Like 5's a drivable par 4. Like, it is a really, really, really fun hole. They should be stationed on that one. And Josh Carpenter was tweeting out a bunch of the stats with it. I didn't follow it as the day went along, but 15 minutes commercial per hour. It was the typical punch in the face for everybody that got up early and wanted to watch the G.
Not good. I will go. A lot of directions we can go. I'll go Colin Morikawa's approach play today. Big loser. That let me down. I just was so convinced it was going to click for Colin this week. He's emulating the great man Seve with Billy Foster on the bag. He's trending. He's been playing better. It's just his like. I thought this one summed up 0 birdie putts inside 10 feet today for Morikawa. Not on the par fives. Didn't stick any irons in there. I mean, it was just like no chance. Lost 2.6 strokes with his irons today.
Yikes.
That's just not going to do it.
You had a bet of Colin Morikawa to go bogey free, which he bogeyed the opening hole, which
is good.
That's better. That's way better.
Exactly.
You'd rather not sweat it.
100%.
Darcy Rossiter asked the question, can we analyze how proper Yorkshireman Billy Foster came to be the caddy for the owner of a doodle that wears shoes? Colin Morikawa, doomed to failure, no.
I mean, after this, he might be, DG might have to look closer to home to his brother Garrett, I believe.
Had you ever heard of Garrett?
No, but Garrett might be on the bag pretty soon. Okay?
That blew my mind.
We're running out of caddies.
A brother named Garrett. I'm so pissed we didn't get to that clue. That would have thrown you guys off so hard. Where are we at? You want to go back to winners? You guys got more winners on your list?
Yeah, I got a couple more winners.
All right, what do you got?
I want to give a shout out to Richard Tedder, the amateur.
Oh, so good.
Shout out to Estonia, first golfer to make the Open from Estonia.
If you're from Estonia watching this video, give us some thumbs up
for sure. And like I'm a sucker for an amateur.
Be the number one golf podcast in Estonia.
A hatless amateur always catches my attention, and this guy's aesthetic. What's not to like? He's almost kind of like an angsty metal version of McLovin, from Estonia. Like it's kind of like swaggy, but also like, what are we doing? I mean, it's great stuff, man. So I'm hoping. I think he was +3 today. I'm hoping Richard sticks around for the weekend.
I was so happy they showed the thing from Wes Lanks of him qualifying, holding that 50-yard wedge shot was fantastic. The stuff with him and Bryson, he's asked like what would be the dream this week. He's like, having a long drive contest with Bryson, and he did it. Bryson dusted him, even though he hit it like whatever it was, 345 or something.
He hit like 198 ball speed, I think, on the range with doing that. He also said he'd never been to a DP World Tour or PGA Tour event before. He'd never been attended one, never even been to one, much less played in one. It's so sick.
So cool. Solly, what do you got?
I will say, this is a boring one, but just proper golf. I mean, there were some conditties that ramped up there. I felt like they could have done a little bit more for emphasizing on how strong some of the crosswinds on some of those holes were, and just a wind graphic up there and showing more flags waving and all that stuff, because it was just like, man, it looks really freaking hard out there. And it just, again, it wasn't like enough to be total carnage, but I thought it was an absolute dub that we just saw some proper golf today.
I'll add to that I really weirdly enjoyed watching was when we got the rain in the morning, the greens were just wet enough that you started getting the skidding on the chip shots.
Yeah. And
just seeing those guys like really frustrated and how to control the spin. Is it going to skid? Is it not going to skid? That was just another element that I really like. And I think it leads into my next winner for the day, which was the pins. I thought the pins were awesome today. There's enough little rumples and humps and bumps and kind of like these almost like mini shelves or these plateaus that have like really big runoffs next to them. I think you saw it on number 1 with kind of that tough spot behind the green. You saw it on number 5 where Rory, like when they showed that side view of that putt that Rory made on number 5, I mean, it looks like he's putting it like 6 feet up the hill. It's really, really cool that they put a lot of those pins right on those edges. So you constantly were seeing balls like, is it going to stop? Is it going to keep tumbling and roll down? It was really, really cool. 10, probably the best example. That green gets really, really skinny back there. That back left pin on 10 was really cool. 7 was really cool. Just like I really enjoyed watching all the different pins today.
13-2 back right with the wind kind of down off the right. Like you had to hit just the proper shot. Again, it wasn't like amazing, but how do you prevent the ball from going long left was like the question being asked. It's proper golf.
So I hope they have more of those spots and they didn't kind of use them all today, because that was really, really enjoyable to watch. But a couple other winners. I had Bez's stash. Neil, you mentioned it off the front. I thought that was a clear-cut winner. Bez was looking great. I had Harry Hall's putting. Did you guys see how many putts Harry Hall had today? We talked about this. I tried to warn you guys in the Who Am I segment. He had 23 putts in 18 holes today. You know how bad you got to hit it to shoot over par with 23 putts?
That's incredible.
That's incredible. He lost about, what was it? 4.5 shots, I believe, off on the with the iron play.
So that's a winner and a loser.
It's a winner and a loser. That's exactly right.
DJ, I got a loser for you. Bryson shoes.
Bad.
I know you call what did you call them earlier?
They're very orthotic shoes.
I would say they're very much they struck me as the trail running shoes that like crunchy venture capitalists would wear up in Marin County. You know, just like
those look a little less chunky in that angle than what I saw. When I saw they look very chunky.
Not a fan of I'm dropping these, not copying these.
I think that's right. I had P just in general shooting 77. That was a loser today. 146th off the tee. Cody,
P lost 3.5 shots.
I thought we fixed the driver with P, man. That's what I was told, that this was not a problem anymore.
I don't know what happened, man.
146 off the tee, 139th in putting. That's a tough combo. That's not going to get it done. No inclusions for P this week.
Good. He's got the inclusion on the loser list. Allegedly.
I don't think I've ever seen a chart like this.
It's crazy. Struck the shit out of it today, but just not a lot of good.
That's crazy.
Not a lot of good for P. That's another one I believe TC was high on P and Hoagie.
Hoagie
got 81 today. I'm not putting him on the 81. I'm not putting him on the losers list.
Somebody was giving him
respect for him, but I
giving him shit for the
81.
For the Hoagie shout, and he's like, "You got to look at the totality of the plays." And I went and looked at his FanDuel plays. Everyone is gonna miss.
Oh God, Hogecoin.
Buy
the dip, Sally. You got to buy the dip.
That miss does not look as bad until you look at the whole scope of all of the misses.
I had one more loser. This is not as much of a violent loser, but I keep holding all this Corey Connors stock. Thinking that one of these times it's going to pop. He's going to be relevant. And every time it's just like, I mean, it's just irrelevant is kind of the word. Every time I think he's going to be right there, or think he's going to, I don't know, make it.
He's in that ilk of Sung J M for me.
Yeah. That's a really good comp.
I'm done with this. Yeah.
It's a good comp.
And I got one on the flip side of that. A loser for me is Hatton. He's really good. And he continues to play good in big spots, and every time I'm trying to make picks, I'm like, I should pick Hatton this week. I'm like, nah, I won't. It's not this time. It's over. He plays good on hard golf courses in big spots. I always think about picking him. I don't. You know what he reminds me of is like Draymond Green, where you're like, man, I just hate this guy's antics. I hate it. But it's like he's really good. He's really, really talented, and he's pretty eloquent off the course. You know, like in his interviews, you're like, God, man, like. You know, I bet, if he was on your Ryder Cup team, you'd probably ride for him.
Solly.
He's a very good player, extremely good player. It's never about the talent or the ability or the results in any of these things. Just cannot do it with his whole
Doesn't
vibe.
play the game the right way.
He's even made a comment in the post game about like, I'll probably find something to complain about. And Kara Banks is like, we love you for that. Tyrrell's like, do we love you for that? Because I'm very, very, very over it. I mean,
she was also like a foot taller than him. That was hilarious setting there.
Again, not why I don't like him. Him being a short king is not why I don't like him.
No, of course not. Yeah. It's just the whole package, though. Like the little boxer, like, it just. And I'm always like, nah, I'm not going to pick him. And I'm always like, God, there he is again. Like, it's just, you're just like, just take the easy money. He's just really good.
He straight up said, fuck you to a fan today. And maybe the fan deserved it for all I know. Porter tweeted out the video, but it's like, now the Open is officially started. It's like, it's every week. I got some losers if you're ready.
Please.
Sebastian Cave, his caddy, I believe. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Is this an alleged, or you feel real strong?
I put in some work on this. I looked at every group, the shot trails on the fifth hole for every group that preceded Tommy's group. Tommy got to the fifth hole, drove it into a bunker. Bones pointed out that he was in somebody's footprint. I couldn't tell from the camera angle that they showed, but that he was in an unraked part of the bunker. Big controversy this week. The Open does not have the designated bunker rakers following the groups around. The caddies have to do this themselves. Sebastian's an amateur.
That sucks, by the way. That was a cool thing.
Yeah, and his caddy allegedly did not rake this bunker, and it also didn't go note. Like there were a couple other people I need to put on blast as well. Like Hovland was over here. A couple other groups were over here, and caddies could or should have seen that this raker was unraked and did not get corrected. But anyways, Tommy ends up in the shit.
Yo, you better watch it next time you go to an event, you little snitch.
I'll snitch.
These caddies might get
somebody
you,
for not break the fucking bunkers, guys. Come on. You didn't doing my pick dirty. That was completely unfair. Also, big loss today. Pace of play was absolutely brutal.
I know. Just
Usually
looking up, and it's like, God, how long is this thing going to take? What hole are we on?
I'm a big proponent of like, hey, Open Championship, everybody goes off the first tee. Like pace of play is better. I didn't look at the tee sheet. I don't know if they put in any 10-minute gaps anywhere throughout the course of the day. Usually that does help stagger the pace of play or helps prevent if there's one backup, one delay, it doesn't back up the whole course. I mean, it's not like they weren't doing their jobs. I mean, John Rahm and JJ Spawn's group got put on the clock near the end of their round. JJ Spawn got a bad time,
which carries into tomorrow. They were saying,
yeah, like he could get penalized if he gets another bad time. And I guess
on the
Adam
clock
Hayes
all night on the clock at dinner, on the clock, go to the hotel.
No, he doesn't start on the clock, but he does. If they get on the clock again and gets another bad time,
on the clock on the toilet.
Let's go.
I guess Adam Hayes, Rahm's caddy, got into it with the official over that, even though it wasn't Rahm that got affected by that. But yeah, pace of play was pretty brutal for a 1T start with conditions. And look, it's tough out there, but I'm guessing it has to do with par 5. Like you have a reachable par 5 second hole, a drivable 5th hole, reachable par 5 7th hole, reachable par 5 12th hole as well. Is just with some tough par 4s in between. I imagine that contributes to just log jams and potential for waiting and all that, but not great pace of play to start this tournament.
Anything else, or is that close the book on winners and losers?
Last loser I had, I just want to shout out that I felt bad for the crane cameraman on 9, just with everybody missing left. I just felt like he couldn't pick up the ball. He's like
tough ask.
It's because he's like kind of like thinking people are gonna hit the fairway. It's just like the camera kept going this left. I don't know. But just shout out to that guy. Like I know he's
not his fault.
He's doing his job, and that's a hard job.
Neil, why don't we do a? Well, actually, I want to do a little 2 truths and a lie. But Solid, we got anyone else we need to hear from before we do that?
I mean, yeah, we got to get through. We got a couple stacked up segments here towards the end of the show here, which reminds me we should give a shout out to our friends at The Stack. TheStackSystem.com/NLU, code NOLAYINGUP will get you 10% off the stack. I have been dedicated. I have been committed on this. I've been doing it. I've been kind of plateaued a little bit. But DJ, I'm happy to report I touched 117 stack speed yesterday. Funny story, like so my neighbors are putting in a pool and there's a ton of construction and ton of noise going on, and like you have to shout out the speed. And so you have to shout the speed after you did it, and I hit 117 and I said it and it didn't hear it because of all the like tile cutting going on. So for the next time around I go 117 bitch, and the tile cutter cut out and everyone over there absolutely heard me on that. Good stuff. I've also been doing stack wedges. Did that at the range yesterday. It's so much fun. I'm gonna let's do a challenge tomorrow. Me and you, we can report the results on Saturday.
I love it.
If you will.
I'm in.
Okay.
You know what I was gonna say is, what a great thing to do during all these commercials is stack wedges.
Stack wedges.
Got a little net in my garage. Oh, we're going to commercial again. Great. Grab the
51 yards. Hit it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's really, really fun. So thestacksystem.com/NOLAYINGUP or /NLU, code NOLAYINGUP will get you 10% off the stack. Just a great way to efficiently improve your golf game in multiple ways. There's stack putting, stack wedges, stack speed. Everyone could use adding some speed to their golf swing. It's a great help. So anyways, back to you, Deej.
Mahalo. Thank you. Neil, let's do it. 2 truths and a lie. We decided we're gonna shed some light on who some of these guys towards the top of the leaderboard. I don't know if you kept it there. I don't know how deep you took this. Any direction you want to go here?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names, and then a bonus one. If this goes well, we'll get to the bonus one. Kind of classic icebreaker game. Just trying to get to know some new guys on the leaderboard. I went basically in the top 20. So we're gonna start with Hao Tong Lee, because I believe the broadcast was almost referring to him as a new guy. 27-year-old Hao Tong Lee.
As somebody who says dumb things on a mic, I feel bad bringing this up. With Dan Hicks this morning was a 29-year-old named Hao Tong Lee. I was like, that guy finished top 5 at a British Open before and was on a President's Cup team. I don't know if we need to pretend like this is his first time on the scene, but yeah.
Subject to one of Tron's best tweets of all time.
Yeah.
When he starts bugging his head, you cancel the year of the rooster.
Oh God, I should have gotten that in there. Okay. We've got as you know, three facts here. 2 of them will be true. 1 will be a lie. So first, his father owned a car dealership, and when his son was old enough to beat him on the golf course, he left his job and began traveling the world with his son.
Okay, it's pretty specific.
He was penalized 2 strokes at the 2018 Dubai Desert Classic for playing the wrong ball. The last fact, as a child, he was so obsessed with golf that he would sleep with his golf clubs next to his bed and practice his swing in his bedroom mirror every morning before school.
I have a guess.
I feel like it should be the second one, should be the lie, but I don't know what kind of mischievous nature you're up to right now. So I'm going to say the third one's a lie.
I feel like I've heard the third one on the broadcast, sleeping with the golf clubs, and I feel like I remember the penalty. So I'm going to say his dad was not a car dealer. He did something else.
His dad was a car dealer, and he did sleep with his clubs. He was penalized in the 2018 Dubai Desert Classic, but it was not for playing the wrong ball.
Oh,
it was for his cat. This is good. He was penalized 2 strokes for his caddy standing behind him while he lined up a putt, which was legal under
something that happened.
It was legal under the old rules, but had just been banned. So he missed when the new rules came into effect.
That's a good one. You got me on that one.
But weren't the new rules in 2019?
Apparently not, because this is what I'm going on. Okay. But you know, I could be wrong, but I believe.
Stop questioning my guy. A great fact there. Okay.
All right. Next up, JSO Jakob Skov Olesen. First fact: he won the Texas Intercollegiate Tournament in his collegiate debut at Ranger College in 2019-2020 season, and finished the season with a scoring average of 69.53 as the top-ranked junior college player according to GolfStat.
There's a lot of details there. That better not be like he was actually 69.2 or something like that.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. I got to keep you guys on your toes, right?
I do also have to say it was 2019 that he was penalized, not 2018 . So,
okay.
The point stands.
But the point stands.
Well, there you go.
That makes it not true.
Yeah, it was fake.
You were accidentally right twice.
Yeah, so there it is. It was already the fake one. Rory McIlroy is said to be Olesen's hero, and the Dane first met the 3-time major winner in the champions locker room at Royal Troon in 2024. Last fact, he made 18 consecutive pars during his second round at the 152nd Open Championship.
Wow. Okay.
So the
I know he
third
went
is
to
a
Ranger
lie.
College. I know that's true. I don't know if any of those other details are true. The Rory thing, I know he did play the Open because he won the Amateur in 2024. And I think that got him into the Open. So that is very conceivable that he would have met Rory, but he could have had a different hero. And the last one, 18 consecutive pars, that feels far-fetched to me. I'm going to go with the last one as a lie. Solly,
Okay.
Same. Yep.
The last one is true.
Damn, dude.
You were on the right track. His hero is the Links Master, Jordan Spieth. And
Really?
he met him in the locker room at Troon.
Oh, man. All right. That's a good one.
You know, I listen, I just thought that was a fun fact that I wanted to share with the world, that his favorite player and hero is Jordan Spieth.
I love that.
Absolute kind of stud, though. I mean, the Danes are coming, guys. Like, this guy was a baller at TCU.
Another one that TC nailed. So look at the whole body of work, man.
And we're gonna go to another Dane here, John Axelson. I believe he's T20 right now.
This might be tough. I don't
know
a lot about John Axelson.
His first name is John Paul Poltz Pinnerup Axelson, and he was born in Holbæk, Denmark, in January 23, 1998. Second fact: he attended Florida State University from 2017 to May 2020, leaving before his senior year to turn professional, and he achieved the second best scoring average in Florida State program history.
Okay, you can't list these as individual facts. These are 5 facts in one.
All right.
Okay.
TC would consider him a ball speed imposter.
That is really tough because TC just moves that final piece.
Well, you got another definition of ball speed imposter.
Well, there is no definition.
Imposter, and he didn't say proper player. Proper player would have been much tougher too.
No, I said ball speed imposter, which should give you an indicator of, like, you know, his profile would look a little unbalanced. I think it's kind of a 1 or 0 on ball speed imposter.
I'm gonna say, gosh, this is a hard one. You could get me on. He didn't go to Florida State. He got somewhere else. He went somewhere else. But I'll say the ball speed imposter thing. I'll say he's not a ball speed imposter.
I'll say that as well because I lost track of how many facts there were in the first part.
I kind of messed this up. He didn't attend Florida State. He attended Florida. So Solly, I thought you'd get that one. And all the other stats about his college career are true, but he went to Florida. So he has the second best scoring average in Florida, University of Florida history, which I thought was pretty interesting.
That's not nothing.
He was a total standout and left early. TC would not consider him a ball speed imposter. Cody, I think I got the graphic of his what do you call it? Data golf profile, if you want to pull that up. But he's not hitting the ball a long way. But he was a stud. He played on he teamed up with the Højgaard twins, and they won the what's the team tournament like for the Danes, like the first time they ever won it, but like went back as a junior golfer, total stud. Never heard anything about this guy. So hand up, learn something about Mr. Axelson. So, and also hand up, there were two there was one truth and two lies.
All right, well, I guess I got that one right then. I'm counting that as
fair
a
enough.
victory.
All right,
they won the World Amateur Team Championship.
World Amateur Team Champion. Thank you, Cody. All right, last one. Rasmus Højgaard. I'm gonna try to throw you guys out. Listen, he's got identical twins, so we're gonna see how well you know the Højgaards. He's the younger of the two twins. He's a huge fan of the band Oasis and plans to attend the Oasis reunion concert at Wembley Stadium this summer with his father. And former world number one Adam Scott has likened Rasmus's game to Dustin Johnson after playing alongside the Dane at the 2022 Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship.
I'm going to say the first one is the lie.
I'm going to say Nikolai is younger. It's
no, like Nikolai's older. The last one's the lie. Nikolai is who is really? The bomb threat, and Adam Scott likened him to Dustin Johnson.
Are their profiles that different? They must be.
I feel like Nikolai's always been the bomber. I thought you guys would pick up on that one. Maybe not. Maybe a tough one. They're identical twins, and they have a lot of similar. They both have dogs. They both play tennis. They both like Italian food. They both were competitive handball players in Denmark growing up. Sure. So anyway, the Højgaards are coming according to TC. So that's what I got. I had some stuff on Saddam, Kalkinjana.
You know what? I've been dreading that one all day. I don't know.
Saddam,
thank you for falling on that sword.
Yeah.
I believe I actually wrote out the phonetic sounding. I played it on Google.
How about him?
Kalkinjana.
I know this was all over the broadcast. Was not aware that he had left Live Golf, left the Ironheads, and became a ordained monk. Did not have that on my radar. Did not have that in my notebook. So
I was looking that up, Deej, and I kind of knew I was going to throw in, everybody knew the ordained monk story. So I knew you guys would get this one. Just would have been easy. I was going to say that he was a competitive Muay Thai fighter in his youth. He wasn't. That he was sponsored by Chang Beer. He's not. Solly, we know that Singa Beer is a big supporter of Thai golfers.
Of course.
And they support the national program in a big way. But I was looking up the monk stuff, and there's a long tradition of temporarily ordained as a monk. So if you want to go the full boat monk,
I don't think they're just handing those out.
No, there's 227 rules, a code of conduct you got to follow for life. But this is a big thing. You have to be 20, and you're allowed. Basically like a spiritual retreat.
Yeah,
and it's kind of big with honoring your parents, and it seems like it's helped him play better golf. I mean, that's kind of what he's saying in some of these interviews today.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, it's like a total detox. 2 weeks, 2 weeks off, no phone zone, the whole deal. It sounds like it's right up my alley. And then I had one in here, Solly. It was going to be false. I was going to say he won $653,000 as a member of the Ironheads in 2022.
He probably won a lot more than that.
He won $1.3 million, and he was 46 on the money list. It's like, whoa.
He felt so dirty about it. He had to go and become an ordained monk.
God, a lot of people have come through the Ironheads. The roster is long and not super distinguished.
They're not putting the franchise tag on anybody.
But he parlayed a T11 at the Open in 2022. I almost feels like he parlayed that maybe into a live deal. He shot 65 in 2022 in the final round in T11, which is really good. He's got 10 professional wins. I think 7 on the Asian Tour, 3 on the Thai Golf Tour. Maybe I flipped that. Maybe it's 3 on the Asian Tour, 7 on the Thai Tour. Anyway, played some good golf today.
There you have it. No, that was delightful. Thank you for that. I feel like I got a couple more nuggies to squirrel away, but specifically the Højgaards going to Wembley for Oasis. I wonder if both brothers will go. Or
well, I looked up. I was
going
to see if I could. I was like, well, is Rasmus the only Oasis fan, but Nikolai's a big fan too, so they're both going with their dad. So I was trying to find a lie in there somewhere.
Good place for brothers to bond, you know?
Yeah. But again, the Danes, man, the Danes, like doing big things.
Well, guys, we're kind of we're landing the plane here. A couple more things. I asked you guys this question. One wish you have kind of for the rest of the week. If you could be somebody you want to see play well, could be something conditions, broadcast. Solly, where'd your head go on this one?
I mean, an obvious one is Conditti's. Wish that, but I think like one of the most underrated like rivalries of our time that was budding was Scottie versus Rahm. They played each other twice in Sunday singles, the Ryder Cup. Like they were kind of trading off like somewhat serious Grand Slam threats in back-to-back years. Rahm leaving for Liv made that a rivalry we see a lot less often on the golf course, and kind of gave us a little tease of it there at the PGA, and I'd like for the year to close out with a duel between those two. I think there's like no losing situation if we get that. So that'd be my wish.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty hard to.
Yeah, you could throw Rory in there, but a heavyweight matchup. I feel like, and you know, we've been a little spoiled with that. I don't know, U.S. Open with JJ Spawn, and know tons of fireworks at the end. Fun tournament to watch, but God, before that, it's just like heavyweights only for, you know, the previous 4 majors. And it's a lot of fun. I guess, Solly, the only thing I'd edit on that or update would be just in the final group, you know, kind of the duel, the Stenson, and it maybe not even those guys, but 2 guys going at it in the final group. I feel like that would be awesome to see.
I'll go just for the sake of zagging, even though that would be delightful. I would sign up for that right now. If I'm getting a genie who's just going to give me whatever wish I want, give me Mickelson in the mix. Like I don't know what could be more electric than that, than Phil just out of nowhere at 55 years old, like with trouble looming on every hole. Like, I mean, just give me Mickelson like involved. That would be.
Or Westwood, man. Stuff. God, what if Westwood gets it done before Tommy Lee Westwood? could be really poetic. That might change my wish. I think that's my wish.
Westwood wins.
Westwood won.
Gosh, that would be fantastic. Looking ahead, a couple of just a little odds check in. I think probably no shock that Neil, you know, no disrespect, but your guy Fitz is not the favorite. HE not the favorite. None of those guys tied for first are the favorite. The favorite, according to our friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook, is of course Scottie Scheffler plus 210, followed by Rory at plus 850, Matt Fitzpatrick plus 1100, John Rahm plus 1200. Maybe a little nibble on that. Tyrrell Hatton plus 1200, HE plus 2000, and my guy Justin Rose plus 2800. Anything stick out there?
The Rahm one sticks out.
That feels like value.
Is that down from the jump? I thought he was around that to start the week, but I'm surprised he didn't move up.
Probably, but you know, we have one fewer round to get through.
I know, but like that was a good round.
Yeah. And your boy Rosie, man. I mean, 2,800. We know Rosie will do it. He's not scared.
Just for fun here, Neil, you can get Mickelson at plus 27,000 right now. If you're looking to sprinkle.
What's
Westwood? Westwood is
plus 17,000.
17,000. A little more respect for Westwood.
I mean, that would be like we were denied the Watson, but we could get the Westwood.
You also can get Justin Leonard plus 100,000 right now. If you think his strong play is going to continue. That's about all I got, guys. Anything else that is kind of sticking out? You know what, Solly? Actually, we did have one. I sent you on a little goose chase. We didn't mention Matthew Jordan yet. Possibly, I guess I mentioned him in the rundown of the leaderboard. But just like guys forged by nature, man. He just can't stop contending at opens. It's crazy.
First of all, just what a world that Bryson lives in, that he can go shoot +7 in the opening round and barely garner a mention today. We can maybe revisit that. But Matthew Jordan is apparently the Open Championship killer. All right. The little goose chase I went. So he kind of famously popped up at the 2023 Open at Royal Liverpool. He's a member there. He finished T10 there. He gained 2.66 shots there on the field in that Open Championship on a per round basis. That's basically 2.66 every round, you basically would be Scottie Scheffler. You'd be the second best player in the world, is what the math works out to there on that one. So in between that and the 2024 Open Championship, he dipped back down to negative 0.31 per round for all of those rounds in between that. He rebounded the 2024 Open with plus 2.81, which basically like is the current skill level of Scottie Scheffler in that tournament. Another T10 finish. Since then, he has dipped back down to negative 0.18, back to a slightly below average touring pro. And in the opening round of the 2025 Open, he gained 5.19 strokes on the field. If he does that for 4 rounds, he is going to be the Open champion almost certainly here at Royal Portrush. So he has 3 years in a row just been an absolute killer in this event, and the numbers are kind of jumping off the page there.
We might need to award the Links Master title.
That is interesting.
That is, yeah, that would be painful to transition away from speed.
And you know, the Links Master title could be not so much the champion golfer of the year, but it kind of in TC's world, like the properest golfer of the year, you know,
the properest golfer.
The Links Master is not necessarily the winner, but the properest golfer.
I think that's a good idea. Well, guys,
can you revisit the Bryson thing? I mean, 7 over, top 5 player in the world. Just
no, you're
nothing?
right. You're totally right. I don't know what there is to say. I feel like you, me, Tron all had him as our pick not to win. It was kind of like, yeah, this doesn't really add up. He's probably going to drive it some stupid spots. He's probably going to have some of these dumb 6-iron length chips that don't work out. And like he just, I don't know. It just seems like it's just not a fit for the Open at all. And I don't know. Certainly not shocking. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad, but it's. What do you got? I don't know what else.
No, I'm just kind of I mean, crazy. Not just you guys, but just the people in general are just kind of like, yeah, it's totally fine. He just completely ejected. You know, he plays 4 serious tournaments a year and does this in one of them. You know, after
he got the fucking bag, man. Who cares?
He's changing the game, Solly. He's got other things going on.
He's got to get home and make some content. But yeah, wild round from Bryson. Some more like duds of the day. I mean, Brooks shot 4 over. Looked pretty rough in the process. Spieth had a tough day. He did rebound with some late birdies. He finished at +2. You know, his wife just had a kid last week, of course, but he's kind of right there on that cut line. I'll be interested to see if he can make the cut. Victor's right there at +2 as well. Tommy at +2 as well. We mentioned P shot 6 over par. Wyndham Clark on the heels of getting banned. He shot 5 over par today. That was a really tough one. Ludwig, I believe, 2 over par. Did he finish at 2 over par?
He finished 2 over. Yeah. Ludwig, and I think I said it a couple pods ago. I was going to give him to the end of the year, but this is stinky, guys. It's stinky.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Russ Henley shot 1 over par today. I know we kind of flagged him as potential contender there. Cantlay, did not think about him one time until I just saw his name here on the list here at T70 as well. But any other stinkers out there that were just especially disappointing to you guys?
No, I mean, I feel like you kind of covered him, or we covered him in our losers segment. I didn't have
Sahith +4. He's struggling.
Coming back from injury, though.
He's working through injury, but still, that's tough. Potgieter, we talked a little about him in the preview. He's +6. That's unfortunate.
How are you guys? I'll flag Minwoo Lee just over par on a proper test in another featured group, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
How are you guys? Did you guys get your takes in the envelope? We're gonna reveal these on Sunday. Wednesday night, write down all your takes. We're gonna reveal them on Sunday. How are you guys feeling? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm kind of
okay
here-ish.
Yeah.
I
need some cuts to be made tomorrow.
I need some things to go my way
tomorrow.
I need some guys to stick around for the weekend.
You need the good side of the draw for tomorrow.
Yeah, for some not even just for finishes, just for them for more opportunities for certain things to happen.
Just extend life a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that's about it for today. Great first day at the Open.
Updated pick. Like, would you toss your pick aside? Remind it for the listeners, and of course, maybe me, maybe not remember I know who you picked, Neil. Would you toss your pick aside and re-choose right now if you could?
I picked Jon Rahm, and while it's very tempting to look at Scottie Scheffler, who almost certainly will win. I still feel good about John Rahm. I can't do it on Thursday. I'm not going to panic yet. I'm not going to panic yet. I might change that by Saturday, but I'm still comfortable with John Rahm under par.
I'm here to announce I would trade in my Tommy pick for Scottie as of right now, who with the 5 shots as well.
No faith. What did TC say?
In honor
Believing in the absence of truth or something like that. Or
Fitzpatrick, we might be kicking off a block party with an afternoon tea session in honor of Mr. Fitz. Just a real chill
potential Sunday roast.
Yeah, so, exactly. Maybe a Sunday roast if things look good.
Who's the leader by the end of the day tomorrow?
I mean, it's so unfun to just keep saying this on pods, but like Scottie probably. Matthew Jordan. I don't know. I'm just receiving data that he's the best Open Championship player since Tom Watson.
I'm gonna say Fitz is still
maybe Hatton
tomorrow. I'll say Fitz.
Okay.
Do you guys think it's another 4 under tomorrow? Do you think it's like gets to 8? What do you think or 6? Like, what's the forecast look like? I know TC's not here.
I'm hesitant to even try again because
I feel like 6 feels like the lead tomorrow.
It doesn't look like it's a little bit of. I mean, it looks pretty nice in the afternoon with a little bit of rain in the morning. I'm sorry, a little bit of wind in the morning.
God, see that? I love Fitzy. He's got the good side of the draw. He got in early today, and
I would think so.
Finished late.
I'll take Fitzy as the 36 hole leader.
I hope so. I hope Fitz sticks around. He's fun.
Scottie was early today too, though, right?
He was.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Damn it.
It's tough.
Would be fun to follow.
I think it's gonna be Scottie at 6. Would be my very draft play. All right. I think that's gonna do it. Excellent first round of the Open. Thank you to you guys for hopping on. Thanks for all the prep for the segments. Thanks to High Noon. Thanks to Omni. Thanks to the Stack. Thanks to our friends at Club Glove. Thanks to Cody and Matt behind the scenes. Thanks to Royal Portrush for a great day. And let's do it again tomorrow, shall we?
Be back here same time tomorrow. Crack on.
Cheers.